So today I'm talking about the Apple TV Plus show called Ted Lasso. And there's 3 seasons out so far. Season 4 is the next one coming out very soon. And so I want to talk about how it's not a TV show about soccer, or as the British call it, football. It's actually something much deeper than that. And also, this whole show has a good evolution, a good story development of the characters. Also, this show has a good theme of prioritizing people over metrics and valuing character, mental health, and healthy human connections above immediate performance outcomes. So that's good, right? And we can talk about some quotes and stuff from these episodes that I saved here. So Ted Lasso says, "You know what the happiest animal on earth is? It's a goldfish. You know why?" Then Sam Obisanya says, "No." And then Ted Lasso goes to say, "Because it has a 10-second memory." Be a goldfish, Sam. Yeah. And so it's basically because treating mistakes as learning curves, and you have a short memory for these bad moments. It's a good lesson for all of us, I think, right? If a mistake happens, a thing we didn't want to have happen, well, okay, we learn from it and move on, ideally, yeah, but move on, right? We can't dwell on our mistakes, and especially just sit in them and have that be like ruining our lives. It's a theme in a lot of TV shows. The one I'm watching now, not Ted Lasso. It's in Ted Lasso for sure, and also Shrinking. It's definitely in that, for very much sure, which I'll talk about in another episode probably. Also, in the episode Trent Krim, The Independent is what the title of it is. A quote here is, "For me, success is not about the wins and losses." That's a good lesson for all of us. That's good for me too. Nobody should really be playing sports, I think, especially for the wins and losses, to win or to lose. Sure, that's a good bonus. Just like making money at a job is a good bonus. That shouldn't be the reason why we're at a job, shouldn't be the reason why we're doing a sport. Just to win. That's not a good motivator, I wouldn't say. And also, this other quote, "No one ever pays a fortune for a photo of a naked man on a yacht in Mallorca." And this is referencing women's struggle. And also there's another quote here, "Well, the press are never awful to men." It's basically saying how the press seem to be awful to women and not as awful to men. I think it's something to think about, and especially to hopefully have the world to be better at, because, women have in history not have had as good rights as men, which that is not okay. We should know this as a society, as a culture. It's in this show, and I think it's a good thing we can learn, as I'm saying, right? Men and women should be equal, right? Have equal rights. I don't know. It doesn't seem too crazy to me, but I think some people think it is. I don't know. Anyway, so this is like a comedy and sports, maybe drama series, which is cool. I think the comedy part is what makes it good, and it's interweaved these great lessons of wisdom and advice, and really just life kind of lessons that like I said, that you will need, and I think they can help. You can learn a lot. So right here, the Lasso way is a big theme in this show, and that Lasso way means empathy, radical kindness, curiosity over judgment, and personal growth over a win at all costs mentality. That's definitely something we got to focus on ourselves, right? The Lasso way. Don't jump to harsh conclusions. People feel trusted and valued due to Ted's famous locker room sign that is just believe. It's that simple, but that grounds the team, and that's kind of their driving force. They have to believe in the process, to believe in themselves, and that's how they ultimately create better lives outside of football, outside of soccer, but also in soccer, football as well. That's a good philosophy I should be focusing on for any sports or any running I do. If we just believe, then maybe things might work out. Also, The Lasso Way is a book. I didn't realize it, but it is. There's a book describing the leadership principles the hit Apple TV series Ted Lasso can teach us. And it's by John Brubaker, and it's narrated by Kathy Dust. This is on Audible, I'm talking. There's probably a paper book too. And also, so the themes of this book is career, success, leadership, and management. The title of this book is The Lasso Way, Leadership Lessons from the World's Favorite Football Coach. And I really want to listen to that. I think that's something I can do until summer's over at the end of August. Maybe. I'm going to be busy. There's a lot of things I want to do this summer. And this Ted Lasso is something I'd spent my early June doing, and I think right up to about 4th of July time. And I really enjoyed it. There's some days, the only bad thing is I get into these TV shows and I get into these different things I like to do. Same with Project Hail Mary, same with other things. Like, there was one day where I watched 7 hours and 28 minutes I have Apple TV, that app on my iPad. I could see in the battery usage section of my settings. So I did spend a lot of time, and I really kind of locked in one week, and you could say binged the series, which good and bad, but I think I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I did it this summer. It's what made my summer a good summer. This is just another one of the ways. And also, since there is 3 seasons out, season 4 is coming out, and there's new episodes every Wednesday for 10 weeks, starting on August 5th. And before we end this episode, and we can watch the series, the season 4 teaser description is that Ted returns to London to take on a brand new coaching challenge, coaching AFC Richmond's 2nd Division women's football team. And the teasers and trailers captured Ted reuniting with familiar faces while navigating fresh dynamics and also quirky humor. And there's also a motto, to leap before they look. I think that's a cool thing. You know, everything doesn't have to be figured out, and we can just still take the leap of faith, so to speak, right? I don't know. So let's go and watch season 4, and let's learn some lessons and apply these lessons. That's the biggest thing. Actually apply these lessons and learn these lessons for our lives, to improve our lives. And what's left to say but let's be a goldfish in this world that so very much desperately needs more of that Ted Lasso and the Ted Lasso way. Thanks, guys.